And welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn.
We are so happy to see you all back at Eagle Eye this week. While today is a little different than our typical Tuesday night show, we promise to deliver all the same excitement.
That's right, Kitty. This Wednesday, we are so excited to present you all with our very own Women in Sports special. We have a lot in store, and I have a sneaky feeling you're all going to love it.
As we head into another week of Auburn sports, the excitement continues to build, and we're here to tell you everything you need to know. Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn. My name is Kitty Diamond, and I could not be more excited to host tonight's show with our very own Lydia Welborn.
I can't lie, Kitty. I think I could get used to this dynamic desk duo.
We have to kick this one off with a team that was on a hot streak. Last week, the Tigers took down a powerful Texas team in a comeback game that left everyone on the edge of their seats. Neville Arena was packed to the brim with our very own Graham Bauer on site to tell us more.
This afternoon at Neville Arena, the 13-7 Auburn Tigers take on the number 16 ranked Oklahoma Sooners in today's women's basketball head-to-head matchup. Let's see the highlights.
The start of this game was extremely balanced and continued to be as time went on. The defense on both ends held their ground well and showed up to play, making it hard to consistently get points on the board for both teams. However, as play went on, there were many key players who were able to split the defense well and create space to shoot. Auburn's Ari Jackson was a threat from mid-range and around the three-point line, draining shots from all around and putting up 19 points this game. Now, to counter her, Oklahoma's Aaliyah Chavez dropped 18 points, getting open through great ball movement and elusiveness to nail three-point shots and mid-range jumpers as well. Not only was Oklahoma very strong around the outside, but under the basket, Reagan Beers was dominating the paint, putting up 13 points and grabbing 6 rebounds. With so much back and forth going on, Auburn's Maya Petticourt was stepping up when it mattered most, hitting crucial shots, one being right as the shot clock ran out of time, and nailing other contested shots. She had 12 points and 2 rebounds this game. With as much competitiveness and speed that number 16 ranked Oklahoma plays with, the Auburn Tigers were giving them a run for their money. However, they fell short towards the end and gave Oklahoma a lead that was too large, Auburn losing by a score of 72-65.
The Auburn Tigers fell short today at Neville Arena by a score of 72-65 to the Oklahoma Sooners. I'm Graham Bauer, Eagle Eye TV.
After the Tigers put Texas Horns down, they headed to Knoxville, Tennessee to take on another competitive opponent. Unfortunately, they just didn't have the same Neville luck on the road.
The Tigers fell to the Vols 69-77, putting an end to their 4-game win streak. Tennessee entered the game ranked 4th nationally in rebounding margin, which allowed them to dominate on the glass.
In the second period, Sebastian Williams-Adams got Auburn within just 10 points. However, it was not enough to keep the Tigers in the game. Definitely not the result we were hoping for.
Looking ahead to arguably the most important matchup next week as Auburn hosts Alabama in Neville Arena. Well, we've had this one circled on our calendar for weeks. Here's thoughts from Stephen Pearl before his first outing against the Tide.
So for me, it's like not letting the highs get too high, not letting the lows get too low. So like, this one's going to hurt, this one's going to sting, but like, I'd be an idiot if I hung on to this for too long. Like let's watch the film, let's break it down with the guys one-on-one, let's learn from it, right? Like we've been doing all conference play, and let's find a way to get better.
With key players like LeBaron Philon and Aiden Holloway, the pressure is on. After the Volunteers sent the Tigers packing, the Iron Bowl is knocking on Auburn's door. They will tip off this Saturday at 3 p.m.
If the Super Bowl isn't enough for this weekend, you'll always have Auburn versus Alabama. Speaking of which, Lydia, who's your pick for the Super Bowl?
Well, I am a Bills fan, so I don't really want to watch the game, but I love the AFC, so I'm going to go Patriots. Up next, Allison joins us in the studio to zoom out with the latest on women's sports nationally. More after the break.
While we focus on making sure you are up to date with all things Auburn, we want to run you through what women are doing across the country. To do this, we're going to bring in Allison Thomas, who has 3 big names and moments.
Believe it or not, every moment in this segment has happened in the last month. Women are making strides every single month and in every single sport. Let's start this off with Trinity Rodman. The professional soccer player just signed a contract to become the highest paid women's soccer player in the world. Her 3-year contract extension with the Washington Spirit is valued over $2 million annually, including bonuses. And if that wasn't enough, she became the youngest player to wear the U.S. women's national team captain's armband in the last 25 years. While Trinity Rodman is unmatched, let me introduce you to a league that is unrivaled. The Unrivaled Basketball League is a 3-on-3 league that was built in collaboration with the biggest stars in women's basketball. Their season started on January 5th, and if you're wondering why you should tune in, let us give you 3 reasons. Paige Beckers, Cameron Brink, and Brenna Stewart. Each of those WNBA stars also play in this league. In January, they also set the professional women's basketball regular season attendance record in Philadelphia. Unrivaled or unreal? That's what our next athlete makes me wonder. As the world sets their sights on the 2026 Winter Olympics, everyone is talking about Lindsey Vonn. Despite crashing and injuring her left knee to the point that she was airlifted on January 30th, the 41-year-old isn't counting herself out of the Winter Games that begin this week. No official word has gone out, but she is adamant on social media that this is not the end. We will see if she will be ready for competition. An athlete that has stayed ready for competition is Sammy Smith. She's the vice captain of Stanford women's soccer, and she qualified for Team USA's cross-country skiing team. I don't know about you, but that shows a wide range of skill. The action for the 2026 Winter Olympics is set to begin on Friday in Italy. Thank you for joining me for this national update. When we come back from the break, we'll begin our Men's Minute. If the cold weather lately has been affecting you, don't worry, you're not the only one. Stay tuned to hear about another team that was affected by the weather.
Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn and our Men's Minute. The top story for Auburn men's golf comes with a heavy heart. Former Auburn Tiger Brendan Valdez has recently been diagnosed with cancer. Valdez was a key member of Auburn's men's golf national championship team in 2024 and made the transition to the professional ranks just this past summer.
During his time on the Plains, Valdez earned 2 second SEC of the Week honors, qualified for both the U.S. Open and U.S. Amateur, has a 2-time first-team All-SEC selection, and a Ping first-team All-American. He played a major role in the success of Auburn men's golf, but announced last week that he will step away from his rookie professional season as he begins his treatment.
Social media saying, quote, "Life, like golf, is often unpredictable. A month ago, I was preparing for the start of my first full season on the Corn Ferry Tour when during a medical exam, a mass was discovered in my chest. While a long journey lies ahead, my treatment should have me back on the golf course and completely healthy this year," end quote.
The Auburn family's thoughts and prayers are with Brenda's and his family during this time.
As their program moves forward, the Auburn Tigers open their spring season tomorrow. I'm a little jealous that they get to travel to the beautiful state of Hawaii, though.
New year, new energy for the Tigers. They'll compete in the Amari Invitational all weekend, facing a stacked field that includes 8 top 25 programs. Best of luck to our guys as they kick off the spring slate. Now, Barrett, I hear you have some track and field news.
First up, this past Friday, the team competed at the Bob Bullock Invitational on January 30th. While there may have been snow on the ground, the Tigers were hot from both the track and field, and may have helped that they were indoors. The star of the night was Megan Hogg, who set a new school record in the shot put. Hogg broke a 12-year-old school record and now ranks 4th nationally this season, an incredible performance for Megan. I have to give a quick shout out to the men's 4x400 relay team, who also picked up a big win on the night. They will be a group to keep your eyes on as the season develops. Now let's head on over to the water. The swim and dive teams were also in action this past Friday. Unfortunately, the day didn't turn out the way Auburn hoped, as both the men's and women's teams fell short in their meet. Eagle Eye's Campbell Perry made the trip to Tuscaloosa, and she has more for you now.
Auburn Swim and Dive traveled to Tuscaloosa on Friday, January 30th for a high-pressure rivalry meet against Alabama. An intense matchup is expected, with Auburn's men ranking at 15th and the women at 17th, while Alabama's men come in at 16th and the women at 14th.
Auburn Swim and Dive faced Alabama yesterday in a combined meet that brought the Iron Bowl rivalry to the pool. The Tigers battled through every race and every dive, trading momentum throughout a fast-paced afternoon. Auburn men's picked up key wins in the 200 medley relay and closed the day with an impressive finish in the 400 freestyle relay, along with individual victories across multiple events. For the women, Auburn earned wins in the 200 free and the 200 breast. On the diving side, both men and women claimed victories on the 3-meter board, and the women added a win on 1 meter. In the end, Alabama claimed the team victory, but Auburn showed fight in every race. With postseason approaching, the Tigers take this meet as another step forward, tested by competition and focused on what lies ahead.
In a rivalry decided by tenths of a second, both teams left it all in the water today. Auburn showed depth and resilience, while Alabama held strong at home in a meet that lived up to the Iron Bowl hype. That's all for Eagle Eye. I'm Campbell Perry.
Head coach Ryan Wokamerka and his Tigers are gearing up for more championship seasons as they prepare for the SEC championship in 2 weeks. Those will be held in Knoxville, Tennessee. Rather than diving in, let's serve it up with some men's tennis updates. The team will be hitting the road soon after a short delay due to the weather. They're heading up to South Carolina to take on Clemson. Now I'm going to throw it back to the desk because it's trivia time.
It's time for our favorite segment of the night, or at least mine, trivia. Coming from the court, what year did Bobby Reynolds become the head of Auburn men's tennis? Was it A, 2010, B, 2016, C, 2020, or D, 2024? We'll have the answer for you right after a short break before we jump into our Women's Watch. Stick with us.
Before the break, Kitty asked you, what year did Bobby Reynolds become the head coach of Auburn men's tennis? Is it A, 2010, B, 2016, C, 2020, or D, 2024? Well, it looks like we're all reminiscing on 2016 because letter B is correct. He became Auburn's men's tennis head coach in 2016. While he has found success in the last decade with Auburn, we have news from a team that ranks at the top of their sport. That's right, number 1, Auburn Equestrian stayed perfect at the top this weekend, defeating UT Martin 11-8 on the road.
The Tigers won 3 of 4 Most Outstanding Performer honors, with Caroline Olson, Avery Glynn, and Brooke Jolstad leading the way. Auburn set the tone early in jumping C and carried that momentum through horsemanship to secure the win.
The Tigers now turn their attention to SEC play with a road matchup against number 3 South Carolina this Saturday. Now back over to Barrett for a women's tennis update.
Thanks, Lydia. The women's tennis team continues to climb in the rankings. Number 4 Auburn was scheduled to face Oklahoma State, and Auburn took the win by default. Even though the match wasn't played, head coach Jordan Zabau said that the team still got a solid practice in and is excited to heading into their next matchup. Well, next up, the Tigers face number 13 Michigan on February 2nd. The Lady Tigers dominated the match, shutting out Michigan with a 5-0 victory. This marks Auburn's first win on the road of the season. After 2 big wins in doubles play, Auburn carried that momentum into singles, winning 5 of the 6 opening sets across the courts. DJ Bennett won 4 consecutive games to secure a 6-2 victory. With the win, the Auburn tennis team improves to 11-0 on the season. Auburn's DJ Bennett received SEC Player of the Week honors for the 2nd time in her career. Well, if you haven't had a chance to see her in action, we highly recommend it. She will travel with the team to the ITA National Team Indoor Championships on Friday. They start play at 3:30 in Evanston, Illinois. Don't flip out just yet, but let's move to women's gymnastics. Auburn had a big matchup on Sunday, February 1st, taking on number 8, Georgia. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs came away with the win, marking Auburn's lowest overall score of the season. However, there were still some strong performances for the Tigers. Auburn posted its highest balance beam score of the year with a 49.225 and stayed consistent on vault, earning its 2nd highest vault score of the season with a 49.200. The Tigers will look to bounce back in their next big matchup against Kentucky on Friday, February 6th. I'm going to log an assist here and send it back to the desk where they've got all the latest information on women's basketball.
We sure do. Auburn women's basketball faced off against a dominant number 3 South Carolina team this past Thursday for their 4th straight top 25 matchup. With Dawn Staley on the Plains, the Tigers were not able to walk away with a win. However, there were still impressive offensive plays across the board. Our very own Campbell Perry was on site to show us more.
January 29th in Neville Arena, there was a big-time SEC showdown as the Auburn Tigers hosted the South Carolina Gamecocks. Auburn aimed to defend its home floor against one of the toughest programs in the nation, while South Carolina looked to prove themselves on the road.
South Carolina was led by Joyce Edwards, who finished with 20 points on 9 of 14 shooting, asserting herself inside and setting the tone offensively. Auburn leaned on Soraya Daniels, who paced the Tigers with 11 points, continuing to attack despite the Gamecocks' defensive pressure. Auburn had some impressive steals throughout the game, but the Gamecocks dominated the glass and controlled the tempo throughout the combat. In the end, South Carolina's balance on both ends proved to be too much as they leave Auburn with a convincing SEC road win.
A physical night in Neville Arena wraps up as Auburn and South Carolina leave it all on the floor. Both teams fought hard, but Auburn fell short with a score of 81-51 as South Carolina held on for the win. That's all for Eagle Eye. I'm Campbell Perry.
Auburn then traveled up Highway 280 to Birmingham on Monday to face number 13 Ole Miss in Legacy Arena, but the Tigers couldn't keep up and fell to the Rebels 71-45. Harrison Koulibaly led the Tigers with 11 points, but Auburn struggled from the floor and on the boards. Despite forcing 15 turnovers, cold shooting allowed the Rebels to pull away by halftime.
The Lady Tigers hit the road once again, traveling to Gainesville to take on Florida Gators tomorrow night. Auburn looks for a series sweep and a much-needed turnaround, with tip-off set for 6 p.m.
Swinging it over to Barrett once more to wrap up our Women's Watch with a softball update.
Let's get on the diamond. The wait has been long enough. The Auburn softball team opens their season this weekend in North Florida on February 5th. They will take on North Florida, but they will also face some tough competition, including Clemson, Michigan State, and Notre Dame. Before we go, I've got some more trivia for you guys. Which Auburn player was selected for the softball preseason All-SEC team? Is it A, Destiny Rodriguez, B, S.J. Gerwin, C, Annalie Adams, or D, Abby Herndon? When we come back, we'll give you the answer, and the girls at the desk will be talking trends, former Tigers, and more.
Before the break, Barrett had some softball trivia for us. Which Auburn player was selected for the softball preseason All-SEC team? Was it A, Destiny Rodriguez, B, TJ Guerin, C, Annalie Adams, or B, Abby Herndon? If you guessed the letter C, you would be correct. Infielder Annalie Adams started 43 games on first base last season and finished 15th overall in the SEC for her batting average of .390 behind 57 hits.
Now we're going to switch things up this week and transition to a segment that may seem familiar.
For Auburn in the pros, let's look at some professional female athletes. First off, we have to talk about someone that needs no introduction, DeWanna Bonner. In 2009, she was the Auburn's highest WNBA draft pick. She is also a two-time USA basketball gold medalist, and she has also helped the Mercury to the 2009 WNBA championship. Let's not forget, she is also a three-time WNBA Sixth Woman of the Year.
Now, onto one of the most famous past Auburn athletes. That's right, we're talking about Suni Lee. In 2023, she received perfect 10s at the NCAA level in bars and beam. Lee is also an NCAA champion on beam and all-around runner-up. Also, she is an Olympic gold medalist in all-around, Olympic silver medalist with the team, and Olympic bronze medalist on bars. I mean, wow, I can say for certain that we miss her.
Yeah, I love Suni. Well, also, we need to mention the star athlete, Taylor Chisholm. She was the first member of Auburn Soccer's 2025 senior class to secure a professional contract. She is now signed with the Tampa Bay Sun FC, the reigning champions in the USL Super League.
Lastly, let's finish up with a great golfer in Sydney Clanton. In 2011, she was Auburn's first LPGA Tour winner. In addition to that, she is a three-time tournament champion at Auburn and a four-time All-SEC first-team honors. All of these women and athletes prove that women do belong in sports. Now, let's turn it over to Trending Tigers.
For Trending Tigers this week, it seems fitting to show how social media took to Women in Sports Day. Here's what we've seen from the Auburn women's sports community.
First, women's golf posted some throwback pictures of the golf team when they were little. Super cute.
So cute. On to women's basketball, they shouted out some past players who played and set the standard for the Hoopers of today.
Next, the Auburn volleyball assistant coach posted some pictures from last season. Rachel Sunder said she was blessed to help coach the team.
Lastly, softball posted the team when they were little, playing the sport they love and enjoy so much.
Happy Women in Sports Day to all the teams that represent Auburn so well.
We want to end by highlighting one of our own reporters. Vivian Kennel has created her own video series to give you a look into the lives and skills of Auburn's athletes. Here's a clip from her One Play a Day series where she caught up with Auburn's soccer team.
Hey guys, I'm Vivian Kennel with Eagle Eye TV, and this is One Play a Day. I'm here with Auburn women's soccer midfielder Erin Fleury. And today, Erin, what are you going to teach me?
I'm going to teach you how to kick a PK.
All right, Erin is 9 for 9 for penalty kicks in her career and 5 for 5 this season, which is so impressive, Erin.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Now that's all we have time for you guys tonight, but you can see more of her work on social media at Vivian Kennel Media. For more Sports Night in Auburn and Eagle Eye Sports, follow our Instagram and Twitter pages. Make sure to subscribe right here on YouTube and tune in every single week. My name is Kitty Diamond.
From all of us here in the Eagle Eye studio, Kitty, Barrett, Allison, and everyone behind the camera. Our producers are Sophia Weber and Madison Seidel. I'm Lydia Welborn. This has been Sports Night in Auburn. Good night and War Eagle!